Hello, and welcome to the online version of Science and the Modern World. My name is David Harker. I am the instructor for the course. I am an associate professor in the Department of Philosophy and Humanities here at East Tennessee State University. My email address is harkerd@etsu.edu. You can, of course, find my email address on the course syllabus. In this short lecture, I'll be talking a little bit about how the course has been organized, paying particular attention to how your work is being evaluated, and so how your grade for the course will be assessed. The first thing to say is that in order to complete the course, you will need to get hold of a copy of this text, Creating Scientific Controversies, Uncertainty and Bias in Science and Society. As will become apparent, we will rely very heavily on this text during the course, so you will need to have reliable access to the book. As we will see on the next slide, the course is divided into 4 different modules, and each of those modules is split into 2 or 3 different sections. The distinct sections correspond with different chapters from the text. At the end of each module, you will be required to take an exam. The exams are worth 15 points each, for a total of 60 points out of the 100 points that will be used to determine your grade for the course. The exams will principally be multiple choice. There will also be some fill-in-the-blank questions, some short answer questions, but nothing on the exams will require you to write out lengthy paragraphs or essays. You will be given 1 hour to complete the exams. They are hosted on D2L, so you will be able to access them through D2L, and study guides will be available well ahead of the date by which the exams are due. In addition to the exams, your grade for the course will be evaluated on the basis of a number of short quizzes, as well as your participation in discussion boards. The quizzes are designed to test your understanding of the different chapters in the text. So my recommendation is that you read carefully the chapter that you're up to in the course, and when you feel you've read it carefully and understood it, then you take the quiz. You will have 1 hour to take the quiz. Those questions will again be multiple choice, principally at least. As with the exams, you'll have 1 hour to complete those quizzes, and you can, of course, appeal to the text as you're completing the quiz. I suspect that if you haven't read the chapter carefully ahead of time, then you will struggle to complete the quiz simply by referring to the text, flicking through the text. So my advice is to read the chapter carefully before even attempting any of the quizzes. If you flicked through the textbook at all, then you may have noticed that at the end of each chapter there are a number of discussion questions. You will be invited to participate on D2L in discussion boards where you will respond to the questions that appear at the end of each chapter. I expect that your own responses to the discussion questions will be at least 100 words, and I'm also asking that everybody post a substantive response to somebody else's post. So I would like the discussion boards to function as discussions between students and myself, and not simply each student sending out their own response to a question without engaging what others have said. Your own response and your response to others should be well written. It should be easy to follow and understand. The spelling and grammar should be appropriate. It should be informed by the lectures and the text, and you should show good reasoning skills. So I expect to be able to understand what it is that you're trying to convey. Your efforts on the discussion board will be graded. If you meet expectations, your responses are well written, informed, and well reasoned, then you'll get maximum 2 points. If your responses and contributions are in some respects deficient, then you will receive 1 point, and if they fall well below expectations, then you won't receive any points for that particular contribution to that week's or that section's discussion board. The points available across the first 4 exams, the 10 quizzes, and the 10 discussion boards sum to 100. There will be an opportunity for extra credit, which will involve taking an 11th quiz and participating in an 11th discussion board. You will be able to earn up to 3 points of extra credit through these 2 assignments. As I mentioned, the course is divided into 4 different modules, and each of those modules is further divided into 2 or 3 sections. On this slide, you can see the names of the different sections and the readings from the primary textbook that are associated with each section. All of this information is repeated on the course syllabus. Uploaded to D2L, there are some additional readings for those who want to read a little further or read someone else's perspective on similar questions and topics. Finally, what you see on this slide are that the quizzes and discussion boards associated with the different sections are numbered 0 through to 10. This ensures that the number of the quiz and the number of the discussion board aligns with the chapter number from the textbook. If you go to D2L and look at the dates that the quizzes are open, then you will see when those quizzes are due, and similarly, if you go to the discussion board on D2L, you'll see when those discussion boards open and close. Pay close attention to those dates because you don't want assignments to be late. The most obvious responsibilities that you have within this course are to keep up to date with the readings, completing the quizzes, participating in the discussion boards, and taking the exams. Beyond these more obvious responsibilities, I am hoping that you will try and get as much out of this course as you can, and this will involve reading the chapters as carefully as you can, and thinking about the ideas that are being presented for yourself, and evaluating those ideas, reflecting on them, relating them to other things you've heard or read about, all of which I hope will be reflected in the contributions you make to the discussion boards. Please do feel free to email me at any point during the course if you have questions or concerns, whether that be about the content of the course, the ideas that are being presented and discussed, or whether it be about your performance in the class, the expectations, the assignments. Finally, let me emphasize that a lot of the information I've presented here in this short lecture is also on the course syllabus, and that it would be a very good idea for you to look through the syllabus carefully and familiarize yourself with the information that's contained there. I do hope you enjoy the course. I hope you put in an appropriate amount of time and effort and energy into the course, and I look forward to seeing how you do with the quizzes and the exams, and perhaps most of all, I look forward to reading what you have to say on the discussion boards about questions and topics that interest me greatly. Thank you. Oh, and one final thought within this introductory lecture. Please don't suppose that listening to the lectures is a suitable substitute for reading the texts carefully. I do think there is value in presenting material in different ways, and so listening to the lectures alongside reading the texts carefully I think is valuable, but you certainly won't glean everything you need simply by listening to the lectures. It is important, in addition, that you're reading the chapters carefully, thinking about them, and trying your best to understand the ideas that are presented there. Thank you.